surprised to have you with us.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Lily Hayslip.
Number 2.
My name is Lily Hayslip.
Number 3.
My name is Lily Hayslip.
Only one of these people is the real Lily Hayslip, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Masak. From head of the class, Christine Hodge. Author, actor, and composer, Steve Irwin. And Steve Irwin's glamorous wife, actress Jane Meadows. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Gordon Elliott.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Woo-hoo, what a welcome. Yes. And it's all for you, Joan. Jane.
Joan, Jean, Janet. You'll get it right. Oh, Bill, don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. Jane, you know, I was thinking...
well, that's a rare thing.
It was, wasn't it? Jane, I was thinking, what's it like being married to a genius?
Well, it doesn't seem to bother Steve too much.
Let's start with our first contestant. It is, of course, 3 women who all claim to be Lily Hayslip. And if you'd like to read along with me, here is her story. I, Lily Hayslip, was a 13-year-old farm girl caught in the middle of the Vietnam War. By day, my village was occupied by the South Vietnamese forces, and by night, the Viet Cong. I worked as a lookout for the Viet Cong. 3 times, I was caught by the South Vietnamese. They beat me, jailed me, staked me to an anthill, and once they dropped a snake down my shirt. My mother bribed my way out of jail, but my Viet Cong comrades, suspicious that I'd been released to spy on them, tried me in a kangaroo court and condemned me to death. The complete story of how I survived and made it to America is in my book, When Heaven and Earth Changed Places. 4 years ago, I returned to my village and established a health clinic to help my war-scarred people. Signed, Lily Hayslip. Welcome, ladies. And congratulations, whoever you are. We'll find out more about this courageous woman's story right after this. Welcome back to To Tell the Truth. Okay, panel, these 3 people all claim to be Lily Hayslip, who helped heal the wounds of war. Let's start the questioning on this marvelous story with Jane Meadows.
Lily, what was the name of your village? Number 1.
Sorry, number 1.
Yes, number 1, I'm very sorry.
Kila is the name of my village.
What was the name of it?
Kila.
Kila. Number 2, why was it that by day it was the Viet Cong, was it? And at night?
The nighttime Viet Cong came to the village, but early morning they withdraw, then the South Vietnamese Republican will come to the village during the day. So we must work for both sides to survive.
Oh, yes. Number 3, how did your mother bribe? With what?
My mother is saving gold for my dowry, and she took half of it and paid the Vietnamese army. So
With
for me
that
to get out.
Moving along now to your husband, Steve.
Number 1, assuming you're all sharing the same story, the gold your mother paid, was that to the South Vietnamese?
Yes.
I see. How close were you to Saigon, in your home?
I'm in the central part of Vietnam.
I see. Number two, did you have any men relatives in either the South or North military?
Yes, my brother-in-law, who was policeman for the South Vietnamese government.
I see. Number three, are you married?
I'm I'm single for 9 years now. I'm not married, but I have 3 sons.
I see.
Moving along now to Christine Haj.
Number one, it said that you were condemned in a kangaroo court to death. How did you escape that death?
I did not escape, actually. I thought I would be killed. But then they decided to rape me, and they let me go.
Number two, describe to me the first time you were caught by the South Vietnamese.
I was out working, and when I came home for lunch, I was laying in my helmet in my house. Then the South Vietnamese Green Beret came unexpectedly, then took me to jail because I had some song belong to Viet Cong.
Number three.
Moving along, Ron.
Number three, how has your village changed since you went back to open this health clinic?
Well, when I went back, my village hasn't changed at all. When I left 1970, and then when I got back 2 years ago, it's still the same.
Number two, you were captured 3 times, and you said your mother bribed your way out. All 3 times did she have to bribe you out?
No, the first 2 times I was in a police station, which is not too bad. But the 3rd time I've been taken to a POW camp. That is where the tortures going on. And my mother knew I will not survive if I stay in the camp.
Number one, were they trying to get information from you? Is that why they tortured you?
They tortured me because they saw in my hand a piece of song from the Viet Cong. They did not ask any more information.
Okay, time is up, panel. Time now to vote on this incredible story on number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is fooled completely, the team will receive $3,000. Panel, if you're ready to cast your ballots, we'll begin with Jane.
You have all told a very dramatic story. Somehow I feel like crying. Somehow I feel that there's something in the face of number 2, that she has suffered through this, and I vote for you.
Steve.
Yes, the story is incredibly dramatic. I think perhaps, well, I'll just save time here and say I'll vote for number 3.
Okay. Christine.
Well, it's a tremendous story of a woman of survival, and I really saw that in number 1.
Ron.
It is. It's an incredible story, and I'm just fascinated. Not knowing that much, and I feel ashamed that I don't know that much. I didn't know there was that kind of goal to bribe your way out, so I eliminated number 3. It came up to a toss-up between number 1 and number 2, and I just, for whatever my hunch, I guess, I voted for number 2.
Okay, as you can see, the votes are all in. 1 vote for number 1, 2 votes for number 2, 1 vote for number 3. And now for the moment of truth. Will the real Laylee Hayslip please stand up? Laylee, I have a book here which you've written, and it's called When Heaven and Earth Changed Places. And I believe that Oliver Stone, the Academy Award-winning director, has bought the rights to this book.
Yes.
And hopefully the whole world will know the work that you've done and the pain that you've suffered.
Thank you. Thank you to give me a chance to tell the story.
Well, you were very well aided by 2 eloquent spokespeople who helped you tell that story. Number 1, what is your real name and occupation?
My name is Nam Ho Duan. I am a media consultant and own a printing company.
Thank you. Number 3?
My name is Hedy Urbeta Kearns. I'm Filipino, and I'm a legal secretary in Ventura County.
Okay. Well, this is published, by the way, by Plume Publications, if you'd like to get a hold of it. Well, there were 2 incorrect votes at $500 a vote, so your team receives $1,000. But more than that, I think you've done a great deal to show how much there is to be made amends for in the future to all nations. Thanks very much for being here with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back in record time with a man who holds the world record for holding the most world records. Don't go. Welcome back. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Ashrita Furman.
Number 2.
My name is Ashrita Furman.
Number 3.
My name is Ashrita Furman.
Well, panel, it's up to you to locate and identify the real Ashrita Furman. And here is his story. Please read along with me. I, Ashrita Furman, hold the world's record for holding the most world's records. I've hopped, rode, juggled, somersaulted, pogo-sticked and yodeled my way into the Guinness Book of World Records. Some of the things I've done might seem silly, like somersaulting over the route of Paul Revere's ride, or rowing on dry land from New York to Philadelphia, or my strangest record, pogo-sticking underwater in the piranha-infested Amazon River. But these feats take a great deal of stamina and conviction. Much of the time, I'm either dreaming up wacky new stunts or trying to recapture titles I've lost. But presently, I'm the proud holder of 13 records in the current Guinness edition, and that's a record in itself. Signed, Ashrita Furman. Well, welcome, you madmen. And good luck to the challengers. Let's start the questioning with Ron Mazak.
Number 1, I mean, there's a lot of yodelers. How would you get into the world records for yodeling?
It's for our longest amount of time, continuous yodeling. 27 hours was the record.
27 hours. Number 2, you were in piranha-infested waters, pogo sticking underwater. Did you hold your breath for a long time?
Very long time, yes. Actually, I wasn't in piranha-infested waters. It was about 30 feet away.
30 feet away. Close enough. Number 3, you currently hold 13 records. What was the most number of records you held at one time?
15.
15.
Yeah,
what
2
were
years ago.
Number 2, what were the 2 that were broken?
2 that were broken were juggling for endurance and finger snapping.
Finger snapping. Number 1, that would be Bobby Darin impressions. Is that correct?
Keep it up there. Okay, Christine.
Number 3, what did you juggle when you were juggling?
They're hockey balls.
Okay, and number 2, how long did it take you to win this record in the Amazon water?
It took 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 29 seconds.
Oh, me. Number 1, how do you think up these stunts?
I just get inspirations, and I just look through the book, see something I might want to do, and then try it.
Number 2, are there any guidelines of what you can do to be in the records? Can you...
Not really guidelines. There's records that are already set, and a lot of people pursue those. But if you come up with a record that you think might be interesting to, you can, send it in and apply for it.
Number 3.
You've got to think of something to take your mind off the piranha. Steve.
Well, sir, in addition to all this pogo sticking, cotton picking, chicken plucking stuff you've been doing, what was specifically the hopping thing? You just hopped, or did you hop on watermelon, or how did you qualify the hopping? Number 1, I'm terribly sorry.
You're talking about pogo sticking?
I'm talking about hopping.
No, the actual record was for, there's no hopping record, it was for pogo sticking, which I did up Mount Fuji in Japan.
I see, I stand corrected, and I should I'm wearing surgical hose. There are certain, thank you, but don't take that long next time. There are certain names associated, like the name Mickey sounds Irish and the name Pierre sounds French. What is the ethnic background of Ashrita? I'm sorry. Number 2.
Number 2? It was pretty simple. My father's name was Ashton and my mother's name was Rita.
Turn the other way around.
Well, now, number 1. Steve is in the Guinness Book of Records. How did you get in? Who decided to put you in for all these silly things?
Well, I don't think they're silly, but they...
Very interesting.
But actually, no, you break the record, you have to have witnesses, you have to have proper, verification, and you submit it, and they decide if it was valid, they'll put you in.
I see. Number 2, where is Paul Revere's ride? What city?
It's actually goes from Lexington to Charlestown. Actually, I did it in reverse, from Lexington to Charlestown, but it goes the other way.
And number 3, what
Time's up,
were
I'm sorry,
you-
Joe.
Oh.
But save it for the next time we get a pogo sticking, juggling, yodeling gentleman on. Time's up, panel. Time to vote for either number 1, and number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000, and if the panel is filled completely, they receive $3,000. So if you're ready to cast your ballots, we'll begin with that pogo man himself, Ron.
Watch how stupid I make myself look this time. I eliminated number 3 because I think they call them hockey pucks, and he said he was juggling hockey balls. Number 2 has a throat like mine, so I can't see him yodeling for any endurance. And number 1 got just a little bit defensive when he said, I don't think they're silly. A lot of people do those things. I'll go for number 1.
Good deductive work. Christine.
Well, number 3's got the hat on, and I saw on the tape that he had on a hat. But then I thought, no, you can't base your decisions on
They're
that.
all wearing pants, in case you're interested.
Oh, and that Ashton and Rita, I don't know. It was tough to buy. I've heard of Ferdinand and fertilizer, but getting fertilizer. Anyway, I went with number 1.
Is Steve Allen slipping you jokes? Okay, Steve.
That's the slipperiest joke I ever heard. But all seriousness aside, number 2 has a very sane and conservative look, which I mean is a very high compliment, so you're out. And number 1 looks just nutty enough to have done something like this, so I will vote for number 1.
Okay.
And to make it unanimous, I think the silliest, and he resented and I love it. I love anybody who's silly. You two are very normal looking and answering your questions. And number 1, you just look silly. I love you.
Okay. This is either going to be very good or very embarrassing. Okay. The votes are all in, as you can see. Number 1 is lucked out. Number 2 and 3, I don't even know why you bothered to get up this morning, okay? Now it's time to find out who the real pogo-sticked, Amazon-dwelling, ball-juggling, yodeling gentleman is. Will the real Ashrita Furman please stand up? Okay. Now, Ashrita, you are the first person, I think, that's been identified by all the panel. You're going to set up for demonstration. But one thing, Steve, you're in the Guinness Book of Records, are you not?
Yes.
What are you in there for, Steve?
The most prolific composer of modern times.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he ever go to bed at night?
No, it's really...
I'm in the Guinness Book for that, too.
Yes.
Well, let's find out who our imposters really are. Number 2, what's your real name and occupation?
My name is Marty Imsland, and I'm a limousine driver.
Congratulations, Marty. Number 3. No votes. But what's your real name and occupation?
My name's David Darnell, and I'm an English teacher at Gary High School in Pomona.
Well, thanks for being with us. Okay, and now here is Ashrita with a pogo stick, with a yodeling, and with the 3 balls he's going to juggle, and we've got to thank you all for being with us today, to tell the truth. We'll be back to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience right after this. Welcome back to Tell the Truth, and now it's time to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. Burton, who do you have for us today?
Well, today, Gordon, we have Joe Rideout from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hello, Joe.
How you doing?
Now, Joseph, you're going to play one-on-one, and you're going to meet somebody with 2 stories. A gentleman by the name of Michael Caine. Welcome, Michael. Now, Joe, Michael's going to tell us 2 stories, only one of which is the truth. If you spot that true story, you'll win $500. Michael, what's your first story?
I'm a lawyer. I run a service called Tele-Lawyer. I charge $3 per minute to give legal advice over the phone.
Now, that may or may not be the truth, Joe, so let's listen to Michael's second story.
Last year, I wrote a spy novel called Desert Jackal. In it, I predicted the invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein.
Well, there you go. Panel, to help Joe win that $500, you're going to ask 1 question about each story. Let's start with story number 1, that of Tele-Lawyer. Jane.
Michael, what does the expression moot point mean?
It means that it's irrelevant.
Thank you.
Steve.
What does habeas corpus mean?
It means bring up the body.
Christine.
Where is your service advertised?
We do TV, radio, and newsprint.
Ron.
Tell a lawyer, but never tell a woman. How many calls a day can you take?
We have 8 attorneys. We could probably take about 150 calls a day, 200 calls.
Okay, Joe, you've heard the questions regarding the first story. Now stories number 2, that of the novelist, and Jane again.
Your novel, has it been published?
Yes.
Who is the publisher?
Viking Penguin.
Penguin Publishers?
Yes. Viking.
Oh, Viking, I see, in this country.
Steve.
In your novel, who is the protagonist, or even the antagonist? For that matter?
It's a journalist who gets caught up in Kuwait, and picked up by Hussein, but you got to read it.
Christine.
How many pages is this book?
400, just under 440.
Ron.
Did you write it just as an invention, or did you have a psychic feeling about this?
I was in a pub in London, and they were talking about slant drilling in Kuwait and how Hussein was not happy with that about a year ago.
Okay, now you have heard the cross-examination. Joe, is Michael the lawyer, or is he the novelist?
I'd like to think that he's the lawyer because he didn't really seem to know too much about the novel.
Well, if you're right, you win $500. Michael, what's your true story?
Well, to tell the truth, I am the lawyer.
You've won $500. Joe, thanks for playing one-on-one with us today. All right, and we'll be back with more after this. Don't go away. Well, panel, that's it for this edition of The Tell the Truth. We'll see you again next time. Cheerio, America.
Next week on Anything to Win, the Arnold Schwarzenegger story.
He's an adulation junkie. He was always Arnold. He was always the king.
Anything to Win, next Tuesday at 9, only on GSN.
See you tomorrow. We love you. We'll see you here on The Family Feud.
Joe, until next time, this is Peter Tremek on behalf of the Focati Rug saying thanks for pressing your luck. Bye-bye.
Anyway, we have just 10 seconds to say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
We got 5 seconds.
Oh, no, we have 3.
2, 1.
Bye.